Hello again, and welcome back to the Gratiot Valley Model Railroad. Today we're going to be continuing our layout tour, episode 8, close to midway through the layout. We're going to be visiting the rural area of Wolverine. Let's look at the map here. So as you can see, Wolverine is a single-track main through the countryside. Not a lot involved as far as trackage. It does go into Richmond Yard around the bend. It's nice to have a rural setting on your layout. Something not too busy. Got another grain elevator. Of course, these sentinels of the farmland are everywhere. This one here is getting a lot of business lately during operations. Lots of stuff coming on in and out. And even though we're on a rural area, we do have the Wolverine Raceway somewhere and off layout. Got a lot of race cars getting towed to the Wolverine. If you're ever out in the countryside, a lot of little towns, well, especially here in Michigan, little towns have little raceways. Keep the people in the area entertained. It's fun to take your car out there and race it around. Little billboard here. Look before you cross the street. It's always good advice. Of course, it wouldn't be a rural setting without a little bit of farms going on. So, got a couple of chicken coops here. We're going to name this farm Sweet Briar Farm. If you're on YouTube, look them up. It's Mike and Kelsey up in Michigan doing a little bit of homesteading. Very nice channel. Always got interesting content. We're doing a little shout out to them. We'll put a little in the description. We'll put their YouTube channel. They're always fun to watch. Got a little general store here. Ma's Place. Not Pa's Place. Ma's Place. Looks like we got somebody drinking a Coca-Cola. Just hanging out. Of course, again, it wouldn't be rural without cows, and we've got plenty of them here. Cows, sheep, goats, pigs, all that stuff. Very neat little way to do trackage. It cuts through the little shallow cut here. So the trackage is a little bit lower. Lots and lots of cows. These cows seem to be heading into the barn. They're all heading the same direction. Of course, if you know dairy cows, they know when the time is to be milked. And they usually meander their way down to the milk house, down to the parlor. Sometimes they even line up in the same way every time. They know who's first and who's last. Got a nice cornfield here. You know, I haven't seen that pesky Sasquatch, and I figured he'd be in this cornfield, but all we got are a couple of deer hanging out. Pull back here and got a farmer plowing this field. So I would guess that this was a wheat field, being as the corn's still green. He's probably just taking down his wheat field, plowing it under. Little Gratiot Valley maintenance shack here. Got plenty of them on the layout. And we come to a nice bridge, a nice truss bridge. We did a little episode on a truss bridge up in Evart, Michigan. This one's similar to it. Very similar, actually. Oh my goodness. You wouldn't believe it. I just found the Sasquatch. I had a feeling he was going to be in here. He's hiding out in this little wooded area here. If you haven't seen the previous episodes, the engineers, if they spot the Sasquatch, they call into dispatch and report a Sasquatch, Bigfoot sighting. Keeps everybody on their toes. He gets moved around. I can't believe we actually found him. But back to the bridge. Very nice little bridge. Going over a river. Got some waterfalls, rapids below it. And it meanders its way past the falls here and goes off. Little rental cabin down here. Let me see if I can get underneath. See the boats. Little canoe, little sailboat. People can rent this little cabin, go fishing on the river. Looks like they've got quite the group of people here. They got 2 vehicles and one's coming down the driveway. And with that, we come into an area we call Grant's Orchard. Mr. Grant did this area here years ago. Former member, no longer with us. A fallen flag. But the orchard's named after him. Take a look at it. And oh my goodness, we got the clown posse here. That's I didn't even know they were here. This is the clown posse. They get moved around also, just like the Bigfoot Sasquatch. And although they don't get reported to dispatch, they're the clown posse, or what we like to call the Gratiot Valley Board of Directors. And they're visiting the orchard. Got an ambulance at the orchard too. EMTs. Somebody must have fallen off a ladder picking the apples. Look at all those apples. Just amazing. All the little apples here on this hillside orchard. Got the layout off, and generally we got these crossing. This railroad crossing is actually active. It actually activates. It's one of the few on the layout that flashes and sounds when the trains come by. Someday we'll see that. A little shout out to Wall Apiaries. Rich Wall, he's a member here, and he's also a beekeeper. And so somebody, I don't know which member it was, he didn't do this. Somebody surprised him one day and put a little bit of beekeeping going on the layout. So, like I said, it's very simple. I'll do another flyover of it. This is a nice stone structure here, transitioning into a truss bridge, it's a girder bridge to a truss bridge. It might not be a girder bridge. It might just be a upside down truss. And back through the countryside, into the cornfield. Is that Sasquatch still there? Yes, he is. There he is, hanging out. Still watching us. Surprised he's still there. Little dinky barn, a little windmill and a water tank. You know, if you know farming, you know the farmers they put their equipment out in the woods, out in between the fields. When it breaks down, they just push it off in the weeds. And this truck is probably a similar case. Something went wrong with it, and the farmer said, I'll just push it over there. Maybe I'll fix it one day, or maybe I won't. A lot of farms have equipment laying off in the bushes. There's Sweet Briar Farm again. And they sell vegetables there at Sweet Briar Farm. If you ever look them up, they sell pork. And they got goats, pigs. They've got a little bit of everything. Of course, this grain elevator, it's still taking boxcars, so they're loading the grain into this old-fashioned. And they got hoppers too, transitions. Alrighty, with that, that's Wolverine, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for visiting the Gratiot Valley. We'd appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe to our channel. We put content out every week or so. Thank you. Have a great day.